Yeah. Gonzo here. LG-42 build video. Alright, here we go. It's gonna be everything but the wire. I know a lot of people use like gunfire IR, blam con, open fire, so I'm not gonna get into the wiring. Just tell you what you need to show you how to run the wires, okay? Print all your stuff, you know. All the pieces, woo! Slides, foam fingers. It'll tell you all the pieces you need. Get all your non-printed pieces. One joystick module, one solenoid, 4 standoffs, 4, I believe they're 3x10 pins, 2 switches, bunch of screws, compression spring, pin spring. Not going, cat. Go on. 4 buttons, either in 16mm form or in 7mm form to make the printed buttons. One more solenoid PCB. This one's mine, unassembled, just for video, or your DIY one. Microcontroller. My system, pigs, you use Pico, KB2040, or the LG-40 Slim custom board by Fusion, made for guns like this. See, fits right there in it. Boom. Okay, let's get into it. Step 1, clear your space. Step 2, because you printed it, take your prints, make sure you get everything all nice and smooth. All these little support areas are out. The holes are big enough. Make sure there's no supports in these. Make sure all these holes are big enough, you know. Check your stuffs. Okay. Then grab your left side. Left panel. Take the framework anchor and dab of glue. Stick it in there. Repeat this 3 times. Sorry, mine was stuck in the other. Mine was stuck in the frame already. So there, here, here. I've already done this. It's not too hard. Grab the framework rear. Grab your motor. Push your motor through the back as far as you can. Trim off the black on the motor if you got to. Heat this up a little bit if you got to. Line your cords up so they pop out the groove. If you got your switch on a PCB, should be able to go ahead and glue it in here right now, like this. I'm gonna wait because mine is not on a PCB. They're cheaper like this. Work the same, solder good. Take this framework, stick it on these 3 pegs with a little bit of glue. Boop, boop, boop. Push it down there. Set to the side of drop. Grab your frame. Do all your heat inserts. 8 here. 2 here. 8 here. Heat inserts are really easy. If you don't know it, just YouTube it. Basically, just set the brass piece down. There's going to be a little hole in the frame for it. I'll show you on this other frame. There'll be a little hole like this. Put it down, heat it up, push it down in there. Do that all across till it's 8, 16, 18. Okay. Just like this and complete. Next, grab your pegs. 3mm by 10mm pliers. Push them down in these holes. I've already done 1, 2, 3. This will be number 4. Make sure it's all the way down in there. Slide in there pretty easy. Alright, dab of glue. Then grab your joystick, set this side. Then grab your joystick module, pop off the top. Grab your joystick cover, your buttons. Make sure it's all gonna work right. Slide them down in there. Make sure nothing's gonna act funky. Pop in there fine just like that and move no problem. I had to shave mine a little bit, but it's fine. Just heat it up a little bit and pushed it. I've adjusted it in the model versus this cover here. Okay, group these 3 things together like this. Slide them by your frame. Grab the left slide and the long screw. Slide the screws into here, into each hole. Grab your standoff, slide it in. Finger tighten it up. Grab your Allen wrench. Tighten out the rest of the way. It should just tighten like this. Do that 4 times. You can even do it the other way if you want to. It doesn't really matter. What are you doing, you silly cat? If it tries to spin on you before it's too tight, grab pliers like this. You'll hear it. Don't want to super tighten in. Remember, this is plastic, so. So it goes at the bottom of these 2. You buy a variety pack of M3 screws, it'll have all the screws you need for all the other little projects I'm sure you're doing if you build this. When you got all 4 of them in there, set that to the side. We're just slowly putting the pieces together while the glue's drying. Grab your front front now has a spot built in for lens, so your camera goes here, lens goes in the front. Tighten down a little screws, lengthen thingiverse here, here, and here. Holds it in there. Then do a first build video. But for this build video, you go and take the screws, tighten them up, get them started in there. And the line screws for this one too. I believe these ones are about 10 millimeters, maybe 15. Again, all the links for all that kind of stuff on Thingiverse. Easier for me to write down than it is to remember it off the top of my head. Yeah, get them down so they're not past the back, but get them all started while your glue's drying on all that stuff. Do the same thing to your right panel. This right panel, both panels are already done, the other one are the same. Varying screw size. So the best way to do it is set it flat on the surface and tighten it up until it's going to push up on the gun or on the frame. Like this, you can see now it's flat. Wow, that's a decent amount of room, it should hold in there good. But this is a thick part. Down here, if you use the same size screw, it's going to be way too thick. You'll need a little screw. I'll show you. So like that screw is going to be too little, won't get any grip. You need one in between them. A medium sized screw, like this. Actually, that screw will do. That's the little, that is the medium size one I got. As you can see, when it's twisted, it's going to grab that heat sink. So I'll go ahead and take go all the way around like that. And if you didn't start this by making sure all these screw holes fit, you gotta do all that right now too. Most of these spots take a, I think it's 10 or 15 is this screw. If too long, whenever you assemble it, you can back it out. I'll show you when we get to that point. It's pretty easy to understand. This one is not a medium screw. This one is going to be a little one. It's on the thin part. Do this to all the spots that got screw holes. Minus the pump block. I'll show you pump block after I do all the screws. I hate when like halfway through doing something, remember. Right, Allen wrenches are shaped like this for a reason. Try not to go past the back. Otherwise, when you pop it on the frame, it's gonna be all wonky. So, back them up. That applies to all your pieces. This piece, panel pieces, all that. So your pump block, do the same thing you do with the frame. They're all heat inserts, heat them up, push them down, heat them up, push them down, heat them up, push them down. Oh, I'm waiting on that glue to dry a little better. Oh, also, so you can put glue in these sons of guns. It'll just help them stay better and not spin on you. So while we're waiting on that glue all dry now, I'll show you the printable buttons. So you got a button housing. Alright, button cap and the thread. Thread's pretty expandable. Just thread. Take your 7mm button, links on thingiverse, take your button cap, test fit it. Oh yeah, that's good. Add the smallest, I mean tiny bit of glue inside of there. You really don't need to. It ain't gonna hurt as long as you don't get too much in there. Push your button back in. See how much glue I got in there. Okay, take your pliers, grab your 7mm legs, try to straighten them out the best you can. Angle them just a little bit like choop. Take your housing, make sure it's going to fit in there like this. Check out the bottom, it's got 2 slots. Alright, test fit your thing going down in there. Should drop and you should be able to see them in these 2 slots. I don't know how good that is to catch on camera, but 2 legs there, 2 legs there. Quick fix. So what I would suggest you do is, after you test fit, pull it out, let your glue dry, solder to this leg right here, and this leg right here. And feed your wires through these holes. And slide it all back down in there. Take the legs you didn't solder to, bend them over like this. So you don't need to solder to 4 legs. Think about it, you just see one going to signal, one going to ground. So you got this little button. Install it just like I'm going to show you the 16mm. Okay. Good button install on here. Waiting on some glue dry. Printed buttons. I'm going to show you a printed button and a 16mm button. Printed button should be pre-wired now that you've done it. $60mm button, pull your stuff off. I mean, it's super simple. Push it down. If it doesn't fit, you're gonna have to make it a little bigger. See, it'll fit fine. Take a washer, take your nut. Make sure you're threading it on there right, not like me. Should be very easy at first. Okay, this is important with these 16mm buttons. You need to pick a way if they're going to go. On the left side, then you go stoop. And on the right side, then you go like this. Otherwise, these pegs are going to hit each other when you try to close it. Like that. Also, heat shrink all this. But you want the pegs going like this. There's a tiny bit of space there, it'll be like this, but so choose a way. If you're going to have them, run them like this, and on the other side, run them both like that. Okay, here's how you install a printing button. All you gotta do is take it, push it, and then as soon as we push it real good, and this hole's a little too small, but it'll pop right in there. Part of 3D printing, if you notice, because you're printing stuff, obviously, tolerances and printer settings and all that wonderful stuff make a difference. But having a knife and a multi-tool in hand ain't gonna be a bad idea. And the model, these are the same size. So if you have to do stuff like that, take the printer button, just push it in there. Do your best to pull it flat. Looks like I still didn't get it open enough. Using the printed buttons, honestly, the easiest way to test this is to have one of these buttons. If it goes in there good, so you know the one that's push hard, it's not going to go in there. These printed buttons are made to be exactly the size to click into place. So, you know, if this one goes in there pretty smooth like that, probably want to do the same. In there like that. Also, here's the difference in noise between the printed button and the 7mm, 16mm. But this is why I use the printed button, so you can get this nice, super all purple effect. Okay. Move on to the next part. Joystick. Really deep head, but it's a joystick module is what everyone calls it. Take your module. Pop it on these pegs. This can be a pain, but it will go on there. Gently push it on there. Apparently I have a broken button, but it won't matter for the video. If it fits good, awesome. If it doesn't, adjust it. Desolder all these. Like I said, I'm not doing the wiring this time. Desolder all these. Make your wires come from back here. So, you know, pushing, soldering not like this. Pushing through so your wires are all going this way. slide it back on here. Now all your wires should be going like this. Okay. Take your cover, your buttons, slide your buttons in. Make sure they're going to work good by holding your finger over the back like this. Gently. Okay, looks good. Pull the cap off your D-pad module. Grab your frame, flip it. Set these buttons down. Biggest part towards this part of the frame, I don't know what to call it. Handle towards the buttons. Pick it up, slide it right on the pegs. Just like the module. This can be a pain. But it will go on there. When it does, it just sticks in there. Almost be a pain because it's not right in the model. I've updated the model since this. They go in there like that. My buttons don't like go in there. Here said I says change the model. Let's see if I have an updated button. Like I said, this can be a pain. I don't think I have a good update button to show you, but this one should do for the video. Okay, so you put your buttons in there. They're going to be loose in these. Turn your frame upside down like I said before. Grab it, push it on the pegs, like so. No, this is not the updated button, that won't work. So with the updated button and joystick back, that's on Thingiverse already. Just push it on there like that. It'll flip right on there. Take your joystick cap. Push it on there. Should just stay on there, and then you'll have two buttons here. If you want to, add that glue right there. Okay. Now, this wire locks. Pain. Look at that. Having a lot of smashing a little bit. Also take a knife and smooth them. Here's how they work. So you got all these wires from this joystick, right? So you need to push them down here. Come down this way. Lock them like this. Push it. You know, with your wires underneath it. Yeah. Pretty simple. If you want to lock it in, you can put a little glue here, but I mean, it's hard as hell to get in there. So now your wires are run from here, run down through here. At the moment, you can just leave this open, be up here. Grab your solenoid. I'll dab a glue like this. Take your wires, feed them down through this hole, like so. Push your solenoid in like this. Shit's all the way down in there. If it doesn't seem like it's going down in there, it's probably because you're locked. Just like mine is pushing up a little bit. So to remedy that, I'm going to squeeze it down a little bit on both sides. Got a little bit of lighter. Every glue is flammable. Be careful. But I know what I'm working with. So again, feed it through this hole. Put your solenoid in there. Slide it down. Okay. While that solenoid is drying, grab your GX16 connector. I like to get the pre-wired ones because guarantees easy to show you guys all this stuff. Pull all the stuff off. Push it through this bottom hole. I'm using an 8-pin. Almost forgot an 8-pin GX16. Again, the joys of 3D printing, so this thing's not gonna be perfect. Yeah, make it work up in there. You do what I'm gonna do. Which is shave it. Yeah, just open it the hole a little bit, make it fit there. I'm going to heat mine up a little bit for the sake of the video because it's going to take forever to wring that out. But what's your GX16 down there? It's got to be a GX16. Take your washer and nut. And I'd suggest just reaming it out. Take a Dremel or something like that. Open it up a little bit bigger. I just didn't want to wait for the video. This is just barely gonna grip this. just barely. Tighten that up as much as you can. Kind of a little bit of glue to hold in place. Yep. So let this side dry. Okay. Now this should be sufficiently dry. Take a little bit of glue and your pin spring. Push it down there. Set it somewhere like this to dry. An angle like that. This is all just miscellaneous little stuff you can do while waiting for the main parts of the glue to dry. Grab your spring block, I think is what I called it. And your eye hook. And a pair of pliers. Eye hook. Open up the eye hook. Just a tiny bit. Grab your compression spring. Slide it in there. So you got something like this. Close the eye hook back up. And I'm just putting on my finger. You can do this before this little part in either order. I don't know, I'll show you what it takes. This eye hook and twist it in and lift right at all. It's just big enough for it. Can't get really smaller in the printer so you can print it, so this is my solution. It's a lot easier than the old way. Twist it until you can't twist it. You want it to be lined up with the boxes like this. Like this. Not this way. You want to be like this. Add a little dog glue. Hey, trying to spin it like that. Pull your frame back up. I know it's still drying, and that's fine. Carefully rotate the frame to where this front part is. Take a little bit of glue, put it on both sides. A lot of this glue isn't super necessary. I just don't want it torn apart ever, so it's gotta come apart. I can 3D print it. This piece just pops in there. It's very tight fit. So if you're careful and you don't let your solenoid fall, it's something that does stuff like that. You can push it in down the front. You need to be flush. Now let all that dry. While that's drying, I can talk to you about the way all this is set up. Okay, so this is basically the same setup as this, minus the spring. You're going to want to take it and turn it flip side down. You got the PCB, you need to cut off the piece. But it just pops. This pops in there. This is super hard to film, but this pops in there. Just like at the other end. Can be a pain, but it's doable. We're gonna want to make sure all your supports are out, because that's what's messing me up right now, is little support. Again, I don't know how to film this, but I don't know how to film this, but it's pretty self-explanatory. It's hard to see, but I want to push this button down in there, just like you do here. Make sure it's nice and flat in there, and or should pull it out, add dab of glue, put it back in there. Okay. So you got all this there. The glue's about dry. Let's take your wires, run them off to the side. Right. Grab your trigger. Slide it in from this side. Like this. Grab a screw. Long screw, but not super long. Push it in right here. Grab a wrench. Tighten it up. And make sure you keep your trigger lined up to it. The goal is to get into that second hole. It's in the trigger. You'll feel it start to get tighter. Okay, once the trigger just moves like this and doesn't move back, just leave it from there. Okay? Make sure we're going things in like this. On a pivot, sorry, like this. Okay, this part can be a real pain, but it's doable. Okay? So, take your frame, slide it down onto left panel. Watch this screw right here. Oh, spring right here. I see it wonky. This little peg on the trigger. It's just like that. Add a dab of glue. Like I said before, I'm not gonna glue these things. I don't have the PCB, so I need to solder them. But you put them in there like this. So it bends at the top. Okay. Run your wires up through here, push them. They should just push the solenoid and come out down here. The same thing with these wires. These ones will guide like this. If you're worried about getting tangled, And just add that with glue right here or something like that. It should be fine. Same thing. Pushing it through this hole, there's a hole right here. Pops out. Then you can run down through. Sorry, I forgot. So you get to see it again because I made a mistake I was going to tell you not to. So put your left side in there. Do your best to line up so that the spring hits this little knob on the trigger. Like that. Okay, and then what I was going to warn you not to do is don't just set it on the table doing this, don't just let go. Take your hand underneath it, grab it, flip it, tighten the screw. It doesn't just try to fall out on you like it did on me. You hear that noise? Stop. You did it. So, take your board, or just your button, set one in there. I gotta realize because I'm a fool sometimes. Tell you the PCB, you're gonna have to shave off the top here, bottom there. That's what you're gonna put. If you want it tighter, tighten this screw right here. See how it's moving it? It's not. Loosen this screw. Do this before. Close it. Okay, and like I said before, run all your wires up through here. And so now it's glued in there real good, it'll just push them through. Push your solenoid back. Run all your wires down through here. Take a wire lock, lock them in. So, and there's just enough room right here for your camera. Wires go down in there. So you're gonna run all your wires. When you get to the motor, pop it out here with solenoid. Run all the rest of them down through here. Okay. Look over. Tighten up your screws. I'm not going to tighten all of them. Just gotta tighten most of them so it doesn't fall apart while I'm trying to show you. if you did like I was talking about, you installed your buttons on the other side while this side was drying. Go ahead and install your buttons over here after you tighten up all your screws. Now the wrench is not cooperating with me. So yeah, same deal I did for this side. Pressure buttons in there, washers. Like I said before, this side's going this way. The other one needs to go the opposite way, so up and down, or left and right. Okay, everything looks good so far, right? So I'm not doing the wiring in this video. Couple different systems, so it's hard to say. I will tell you this. Excuse me. Chevy rumble, wires here, solenoid wires here. Hook them to your PCB or whatever. You know, in my case, I'm gonna be using my PCB. So this hole's for my PCB. Oop. Run them through here. Here's where another wire lock goes like this. Hold all that down. Same kind of concept. I think this one's a little too long, so I just trimmed it. Oh. You know, same thing. If this one doesn't want to work for you, then you just, it's not really super essential. It's just to help keep them all there while you're putting on the other side piece. And I don't want to do it from the sun. Okay. Whatever. So you got your PCB almost set up there, right? Take your signal wires out. And all your other wires should be right here. Start to solder things to this. Whatever you need, solder it up. Solder all your buttons on this side, everything you can over here. Try to keep some room. You can do the pump first, it doesn't matter, but solder all this stuff up. And then do pump. You're going to need to solder your pump button. Pump is the weirdest part, okay? And take your pump, slide it on there. There's 2 lines are front, 3 lines are back. Okay? 2 lines front, 3 lines back. Take your pump lock, slide it in here. Should just go in there just like that. And make sure it's going to turn the gun upside down. Do this little motion undo until your spring lines up. I really don't know how to film this. So your spring lines up with this heat insert. Do your best to set it down like that. Cover screw. A decently long one. And this can be a real pain. I don't know how I'm going to film this, but what I like to do is take something, find something to show you, like bring from a print. Stick it on top of the screw head. Push my wrench onto it. Really holds the screw, see? Line your stuff up. There's a hole right here on purpose. You go down through. So I don't know how to film this. The goal here is to grab the spring with that screw and then screw it into the middle heat insert. Can be a real pain in the tuchus. I'm gonna take this off for a moment. So basically you're trying to get this screw over this hole that's on the pump block. Oh gosh. Yeah, this is the worst part of the job right here, just let you know. I don't know if you see that, so that's what you're trying to do. So this is the worst part of the build. But I could not figure out a better way. I tried. The other way was even harder before I put the spring lock. I'm just trying to do that with stinking brim so the screw holds in there better, but I'm trying to do it by hand. I don't know how to use it. I have a piece of cloth out in my studio that I normally use, just not good for filming. So, like I said, I don't really know how to film this for you guys. I'm just trying to put this screw through the spring loop into that bolt. And you're going to want to tighten it up. Again, this hole is here for that, so you can go down through the top, tighten it up like this. Don't worry about the block. Don't worry about this shifting yet. About to fix it. So once you got it in there pretty decent, test it out like this. Is it clicking the button? Yup. Again, you're gonna have glue on your button. Maybe not. Just click the button. It's funny. You have to make a clicky noise for you, but just test out like this. Seems pretty good. It's gonna click the button. You're gonna have all your stuff soldered. Okay, so now you're like, man, but this punch still going like this on me. I got you. Right? Take a small screw. Go in the side right here. Yeah, like right next to the lock. Oh gosh. Right next to the lock, there's that other heat insert. That's what we're going for. That's all I was trying to put a piece of brim on it. A little piece of electrical tape or anything like that for a wore out wrench will do. In my case, solo paper towel. So, something to help it hold on there. Going from the side into that heat insert. A little screw. Might have to push it forward that way a little bit. Tighten up as much as you can. Should look like this. And repeat on the other side. The other side's a little harder because you've already got the stuff in there. It's not impossible. Saturday, the spring is the hardest part. I'm right through that. We're on to the next part. So again, using this method, on through the top. Pushing all the way towards me as much as I can this time. Trying to line up in that heat insert. Tighten it up, tighten it up. So if you get friction like this, you're just going to have to push a little bit to adjust it. Oftentimes, you can go through it. Tighten that little screw up all the way until it's past the panel on the left. See? Add a dab of glue. I mean, a dab, be very careful because you're not trying to glue the pump lock to the panels or anything like that. You're just trying to glue all these in their holes. And also just use thread lock when you're putting these screws in. That's a pain for me personally, but you can easily do it. This table's not as low as I want it to be. Okay. So put your buttons in here, like we did on this side. Finish soldering to your Pico or whatever. Use your GX16 pinout to go to your USB for your Pico. All that's on my DIY wiki if you're going to use my stuff. And your joystick will still be back there. Again, yours is going to be better because this model's off. Run all your wires. For the sake of video, I'm just going to pin them like this. Run all your wires. Take your right side. Make sure it's going to look good. Okay. Finish connecting everything, your USB to Pico, slide all down in there, make sure it's going to fit. Alright, and then you'll need the camera, of course, too. Put your camera here, run it down in here. Camera should fit down right through that slot. The cord should. Put your right side on there. Aye. Tighten up all your screws. Again, for the sake of the video, I'm not going to tighten them all. I've already been filming forever. But this should give you a good idea how to do it. You gotta tighten these ones up. Be careful. This plastic is thin right here. If you tighten the heck out of them, it's gonna crack. So just like, get in there and listen. Feel it. Okay, once you got both sides on there, it should look like this. Now, put buttons in there. Make sure your stuff's working good. Trigger looks good. Okay. Then the camera's gonna be on here. If you're doing this with icons, the camera's easy. Put the camera in here. When you're putting the camera in here, line it up with this son of a gun. Oh, sorry, messed up. Sorry, messed up. Before you put the right side on, my bad. Ignore the last step. Don't put the right side on yet. Wire everything to your Pico. Put your camera right here. Wire everything to the Pico. When you're putting your camera right there, it should fit inside of this little groove. And line it up so it sits like this. These have the same heat insert system. And the same deal as all the other stuff. It's on there straight. Tighten both up. And that covers up the pump block or the spring block on the front. Okay, slide your button down in here. Apply some glue. Pre-soldered button is what I use most times. So if you're not using pre-soldered, solder. Put some glue, pop the button down in there, it'll go down in there and be flush. I'll show you. Go in there like this. You might have to open it up a little bit. Should sit there pretty good like this. Then you got your button in here, solder everything to your Pico, Pro Micro, whatever. Push it down in here. Camera's sitting right here. Open your app or whatever. Computer, check your angle, make sure your camera's good. Glue it. Boom. Alright, everything's good, you're fine. Check your camera. You can check the buttons out if you want to, minus these two. And solder these over here. Push down the whole thing like this. So I'm not doing the wiring in this video, but it's Basically, I mean, you should understand it if you got this far into it. The DFR camera goes there. Wires are gonna go down through here, like I said. Check it all. Now the only thing you should have exposed this will be on there. So I'm gonna keep messing with this beta one. So tighten it all up. Excuse me. Tighten it all up. That noise means you just spun the heat insert. So grab a smaller screw for that spot. You got it all there. The only thing that should be exposed is sunlight camera. Test it out. That's pretty good. Okay. So you should be looking like, you know, except this will be on here. Your cords running like this. I just don't want to keep messing with this beta one. There's a difference on the side. Printed buttons again versus these ones. They don't have a purple in this one. Okay, so you're all set up. You remember this thing we glued earlier? Take it. Sorry, let me close that away. Take it like this. See that slot right here? So you're in there, see this slot? It goes in there. Push it. Push it real good. Okay. Should look like that. Once again, mine are kind of beta files. I don't know, you call them beta that. Damn, I don't know. But this spot's not big enough on mine. Take your other side. Click it on there. Make sure it moves back and forth. Again, mine's not gonna because it's not big enough there. I'm gonna try to pop my cylinder up, let it show you. And that should be nice and smooth. I can show you just one half. On new model, this is a little bit bigger to accommodate this a little bit shorter. So pop the two halves together. Take your long screws. Tighten them all up. Check your springiness again. That's about it. This is a good spot for thread lock. It's easy to get it in there and then they won't come out. You're gonna tighten them up. 1, 2, 3, 4. You should have a nice gun like this. And yours is gonna go cha-cha-cha. Mine will not because I don't have it set right. My model is different than this one, Thingiverse. If you're going to add a fisheye, pop that back. You're going to have to hold it back like this. Put your fisheye in there. Grab your little screws linked on Thingiverse. Push them through here. 1, 2, 3. And then just tighten up. And hold the fisheye in there. There's something that looks like this in the end. A little more room. Hope that gives you an idea how to build it. Sorry for this crazy ranting. Have a good one.